It's financially as well as emotionally. It takes a toll.
Vincent, you voted for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
He thought the Trump administration was going to focus solely on deporting criminals. It seems immigration officials, he says, are just trying to meet quotas now. 6 Nicaraguan men who on May 27th were detained along US 1 in Sugarloaf Key on their way to a job. Their immigration attorney says it should not have happened because 5 of the 6 have their paperwork in order with pending asylum cases. Vincent Scardina is the owner of the roofing company where they worked. He's owned it 37 years.
You become their friends, just not an employer, but a friend. And you see what happens to their family. It's quite a shock.
Given his support for the president, we asked what he would tell the commander-in-chief if he had a chance.
What happened here? This situation is just totally, just blatantly not at all what they said it was.
Y'all saw the news out of Nebraska today. Apparently our entire state is going to go bankrupt in 2 quarters. Me and my husband owned a cattle ranch here, and I can confirm that all of the cattle ranchers here overwhelmingly voted for Trump. We support him. We voted for him. Something like 70% of our entire workforce is undocumented immigrants, and they straight up are not showing up for work anymore. They have all either fled the country, fled the state. They don't want to get raided while at work, so they have just moved on to work somewhere else. And straight up, we are gonna go bankrupt now. We are gonna go bankrupt, and yeah, we voted. We knew that the immigrants would get deported, and he was coming after immigrants, yet we still voted for it. Overwhelmingly voted for our own demise. I was talking to my husband last night, and I have to admit that it seems a bit foolish now when you think about it like that we voted for something that is now putting us directly out of business.
I get frustrated when people say that, man, about these migrants are doing the jobs that Americans don't want to do. That's because they pay them peanuts. If they were to pay us what we're supposed to get paid in America, a livable wage, we'll do them jobs like those farm jobs over there in the West Coast, where the Mexicans are picking fruits and vegetables and all that. If you was to get prisoners that have no violent crimes and they're almost about to come home, give them jobs to go work them fields and make a little bit of money, or people that are on welfare, send them out there for a few hours so they could get that welfare check and food stamps if they want that check every month. You could send them out there and they'll be able to do those jobs. That's a cheap excuse just to allow migrants, illegal migrants, to come here and work like slaves so all these companies could get rich, and the ones that suffer is the American people. But so look at now, I have a CDL license. CDL driving trucks, they don't pay like they used to back then. You had a CDL back in the 80s, man, you was oh man, you drive trucks. Now, a truck driver could get paid the same thing as an Amazon driver, $23, $24 an hour. Why? Because of this cheap labor, all these people coming here doing everything cheaper.
Have you ever thought about this, Vic? The reason why those wages are what they are is because the farmers aren't making the money. It's like the money that they make is only able to pay the farmers X amount of dollars. Did you ever think about that? Yeah. Because just look at it like this. With the way that they're hurting now, they're gonna go out of business like ASAP with the way the migrants are getting evicted out of the country or whatever. So,
but over here, Wally, I see prisoners, man, cleaning the highways, man, for $1 a day, man. You mean to tell me that prisoners with non-violent charges, they're about to come home, give them good behavior and have them work those fields out there for $1 or $2? The ones that are in good behavior, that haven't got in trouble, nothing, send them out there to work.
So I did some research while y'all was talking. In general, farm hands make about $38,000 a year.
That's how much farmers make?
Farm hands.
Oh, farm hands.
So these are the people that are on the farm that are helping raise cattle. Think about it. That's what most people bring home a year. You just have to figure out what arena you want to be in. Because if you work at McDonald's, most minimum wage jobs pay you about 15 an hour. So you make more as a farmhand.
So you're gonna so in essence, you're gonna say, do I work on the farm or do I go work at McDonald's where there's AC, there's heat in the wintertime, and I'm not breaking my back, so to speak. Don't get me wrong, working at a fast food, it is work, depending on where your position is. But what would you choose, Vic? McDonald's or working in a farm?
But the point you're not getting that I'm trying to make, Wally, is
No,
that those jobs, there's people that will do them jobs or send them to do them jobs. I'm telling you, man, people in prison to get out of prison, and you give them $5 an hour to get out of prison, man, for 8 hours, man. They'll go work them fields, man. I'm telling you, they will. Over here in the East Coast, like I tell you, man, I see people when I was locked up, they wanted me to go out. They asked me one time, "Do you want to go out to the highways to clean for $1, bro?" And you saw blacks and Hispanics jumping on that. Why? Because they wanted to get out into the streets for at least 8, 9 hours. Being better, it's better than being in jail. There's people that will do them jobs, Wally, man. I don't want to hear that, man. They was
no.
making his
I agree. There will be people that want to do them jobs, but do you think there'll be enough people to do the jobs where it will cover where these farmers have enough coverage to keep their produce or keep their farms afloat?
You have to also
yes,
think about it this way too. Are people going to move to those areas?
Hmm.
Because 9 times out of 10, a farm is in a rural area.
Exactly.
That means there's no real transportation in those areas.
You're,
There's
prisons
on the
got
other
buses.
end too is it's not going to be much housing in those areas. So are you going to commute to the rural area?
See, you're saying they have buses there, but now that's more funding that's coming out of taxpayers and everything like this to transport those prisoners and all. Like, there's a lot of moving parts that's going to go into that because when you're talking about, like, for instance, let's look at New Jersey, right? The farms in New Jersey are in South Jersey. What bus from Newark, New Jersey, which is like 2, 3 hours away, is going to transport prisoners every day to commute to these farms, which is 3 hours a day, work a couple of hours, and then come back another 3, 4 hours? That's not including traffic. You're not including toll. You're not including food that you got to
You
pay
you
them.
you
This,
take
that,
the
and the
people
third.
in county jails, Wally. People in county jails. You don't look. When
It's
I was in Jamesburg, when I was locked up in Jamesburg here in Jersey,
mhm.
I was in one of those programs for good
Okay.
behavior, and every morning it was about 40 of us. We would go to the dining area before all the other prisoners would go to the
Hmm.
dining area. We will eat. We will get on a bus, and the bus would drop us off all over South Jersey, and we would do that for Monday to Friday. And I was bringing home. I mean, well, I was bringing for my bank account in the jail, close to $300 a week. Now, Erica says that they're paying around 38,000. You break that down. You pay a prisoner in jail $3 to $4 an hour, and the
Oh,
rest you
yeah.
take it to cover the transportation or whatever. They could do it, Wally. It's possible. It is possible. It is possible for Americans. Send people that are on welfare. If you want that welfare check, you want that section or whatever, you're gonna have to go work that field for a few hours if you want to keep your government assistance. We got to put the American people to work, Wally. There's
That's
some
true.
American people that could do that.
That
That's true.
you make some sense right
Yeah, you
there.
make sense with that. I could agree with that. I could agree with that.
Because think about it. If you're right, if you're telling me it's about 35,000 a year, right? If you're taking out their transportation costs out of that money, you're taking their food money out of that money. Think about it. If I was in the military, I got to pay military stipend to pay for my food and my housing.
Yeah,
So you
I'm
could
telling you, it's
almost do
possible,
the same
Wally.
thing.
You're all right there, Vic. You're all right. We
Yeah,
got one here. You're all right. You're
yeah, I
all
do.
right.
Wally,
But
let me just make a quick example for those that might not understand it. Let's
Hmm.
say they're paying them illegal people $15 an hour to work them fields. You pay a prisoner $5 an hour. The other 10 is to cover the expenses to take them to them fields and for the food. I'm telling you, that'll cover everything, bro. And prisoners gladly will go out to them fields to work for 8 hours and get out of behind prison doors and make a little money to take home when they come out. I'm telling you, they will.
Let me
I
ask you
did
this.
it.
Let me ask you this. If you was a farm owner, would you be okay with a good 20 to 30 prisoners at your farm working?
Yes, I would, because I would bring the prisoners. They already got their dates to go home, and I know no prisoner is gonna be dumb enough having a year left to go home, and he already got his date to go home. He's gonna try to escape or do some dumbness to stay in prison.
That's a fair point. Okay, that's a fair
And think
point.
about it
All
on
right.
the other end too. They're learning a skill. That's something that they could do once they get out, if that's what they
Exactly.
choose to do.
Exactly, Erica. You hit it right. You hit the nail right on the head. And the people on welfare and Section 8, they'll learn a skill too, and maybe they could get out of them helps and go do for themselves.
Whoa. But now we're treading in the territory of saying, slavery taught people skills, and
Nah,
you get what I'm saying?
Wally, working the fields, that's not being a slave, man. People
No,
been
I know
working
it's
the
not.
land ever
I,
since the
I
day of creation in this earth,
I
man.
know I know it's not, but when you present that to black people, some might feel insulted. Like some might feel, hold up, you want me to work on a field? What? Farm, like some you don't think there's gonna be some blacks that might not feel insulted? You don't think there's some blacks that is gonna look at it
Hey, man,
and
I'm
be
gonna be
like, yo,
honest
you
with you, man.
insulting me?
The ones that will feel insulted by that are the lazy ones that are just looking for any excuse just not to go out there and work. That's a cheap excuse to say, "Oh, this is slavery." This ain't slavery, bro. They're paying you to go out there and work. This is not free.
Yeah, but they still gonna use that card. Like,
I know they are. And like I said,
you know what I mean? Like,
those are the
yeah,
ones they want to stay blaming and stuck on that slavery thing because they don't want to do nothing with their life. That's the ones that are
oh
going to be
yeah,
saying stuff like
definitely.
that. Wally.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you enjoyed that clip and you want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click that notification bell so that you can be notified for more content like this. There's Matter of Opinion, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
It's a matter of opinion.